This is the extra help video for Learning Target 232, and we're on page 23 of the packet, or you can just follow along in a notebook. So I'm just going to go through one problem, but we're going to go through all of the steps that we learned in the original lesson video. And so this says, Lucy is eating her Halloween candy. She limits herself to 2 pieces per day. She had 74 pieces left on day 6 and 46 pieces left on day 20. And so our first step, let's talk about our goal first. Our goal is to write y equals mx plus b equation. And in order to do that, we need 2 things. We need m and we need b. So I need to find those 2 things given the information that I have. So I'm going to start by finding m. We have to find m first every single time because we need m in order to find b. So you need to do it in that specific order. And so I'm going to use like a green pen and I'm going to go through the steps to find m. So in order to do that, we need to use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And in order to use this, we need 2 coordinate points, which we don't quite have. Like it doesn't say, find the slope between 3, 2 and 4, 7. We need to actually find those points from the words that are given. And so in order to do that, we have to figure out what is the independent variable and what is the dependent variable. So our information that it gives us is that we have 74 pieces left on day 6. So this is like one relationship. And then it says the other relationship is 46 pieces left on day 20. Now, our 2 variables are pieces of candy and days. And we need to figure out which is independent and which is dependent. And so I like to try to think about which one depends on the other. Do the pieces of candy depend on the days that have passed? Or do the days that have passed depend on the pieces of candy eaten? So hopefully, as I said that, you realize that the dependent variable, the one that depends on the other one, has to be the pieces of candy. The pieces of candy depend on how many days have passed, not the other way around. So if we eat candy faster, time doesn't go by faster. That's not how that works. And so our independent variable, which is our x value, is our days. And so I'm going to kind of just write this like off to the side maybe. I'm like trying to figure out where to write it. So let's say our x value, which is our independent variable, is the days. And then our y value, which is our dependent variable, is the pieces. And so when we write our points, we need to do independent, dependent. So day, pieces. So this first relationship, it said we had 74 pieces left on day 6. So day, pieces would be 6, 74. And then our other one would be 20, 46. So normally we speak in that we normally say the independent variable first and then the dependent. However, this one we had to do some critical thinking and really consider which one was depending on the other so that you write your points correctly. So now we're just going to plug those into the slope formula. So label them x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug them in. So we have 46 minus 74 over 20 minus 6. So on the top, we have 46 minus 74 to get negative 28 over 20 minus 6 is 14. And we want to see if we can simplify this at all. So negative 28 divided by 14 is negative 2. So this is our m. And I'm going to put a little cloud around it. That's how I remember, like, this is an important piece that I need for later. So now I'm going to switch colors. So I'll do this in purple. And now I'm going to find b. And to find b, we want to use our y equals mx plus b. And we're going to use one of these points, it doesn't matter which one, and the slope that we just found to plug into here. So I'm going to use, I guess there's no real one that's better than the other one. It doesn't really matter. If you have a point that's very clearly easier than the other, use the easier one. But for this one isn't any easier than this one, so I'm just going to use this 6, 74. So y is 74. M is negative 2, X is 6, and then we don't know our B yet. And so I'm going to multiply to get negative 12, and then add 12 to get 86. And so again, 86 is an important number. That's my B value, so I'm going to put a cloud around it. And now all I need to do is write my equation plugging in my m and my b. So I have y equals negative 2x plus 86. And make sure that your equation makes sense for the situation. So m is representing the slope or the rate of change. And it says that, so if it's negative, that means we're going down in candy, which makes sense, we're eating it, so our candy is going away. And then this is 2 pieces per day. And it even says, if you see here, she limits herself to 2 pieces per day. We honestly could have skipped this part and just gotten to the 2 pieces per day and had that already. I just wanted to use this method to show you in case you can't skip it because it doesn't give you this extra piece of information. So this makes sense. And then our B value is always our starting point. And so we started with 86 pieces of candy. That makes sense as well. So this is the bulk of the work, but then typically they'll ask you a follow-up question. So using your linear model, then how can you predict something in the future? So it says, when will she run out of candy? And so you have to figure out if they're asking for you to find the x or the y. Like, are you going to plug in something for x or for y? Well, we said that x represents the days. And so it says, when will she run out of candy? That's asking for the days, so we don't know x. We do know y, which is the number of pieces. Run out of candy, this sentence, means when will we have 0 pieces? And so in order to figure that out, we can plug in 0 for y and solve. So we'd end up subtracting 86 and dividing by negative 2 to get a positive 43 for an x. So it is going to take us 43 days to run out of candy. So the bulk of this, I know it looks like a lot, but you know how to find m, you know how to find b. It's just taking those two things separately and putting them together into an equation, and then being able to use that equation from there. I hope this video helped.